and welcome to Baron's Den, to the penultimate roster change video, as we've only got Chaos Dwarves and Vampires left. Two of the newer teams that came in during Blood Bowl Season 2. And obviously, I say newer teams, Vampires and Chaos Dwarves were around in previous editions of the game, but they were in Team of Legend status for a long time within Seasons 1 and 2. So they came along right at the end. In fact, the Chaos Dwarves were the last team, I think, added before we went into Season 3. So I'm not expecting a great deal of change, but obviously a lot of people were very upset when Chaos Dwarfs came back because they changed them, and you're not allowed to change these teams, guys. People get very upset when you change them. So it will be interesting to see if they double down on some of those changes, or whether they revert some of those changes, or they're just going to leave it the same. Right, let's crack on with Chaos Dwarfs. So we start off with Hobgoblin linemen. And there is a little bit of a change, which again I don't think is going to go down well with the core Chaos Dwarf players. So they're movement 6, strength 3, edge 3+, passing 4+, armor 8+, and they are 40,000. They are what I'd describe as your average low armor linemen, which are perfectly fine. I'd take a Hobgoblin for 40k. They're not bad players. Human players are the same, just with 1 pip of armor, and they cost 50k. Norse and Bretonia and Amazon are 50k with the same stat line, but they have a skill each. So there's not too much wrong with the Hobgoblin lineman. But how they've changed is they've lost their general access. So general has now moved into secondary, and they only have access to devious, which means that for their primary skills, they can only pick up those dirty player type skills, which is both good and bad. I think you definitely want some of those devious skills on your Hobgoblins anyway. I was hoping they would have primary access to devious. I really was. But I kind of expected them to have general as well. So the fact that they haven't got general is a blow. Because it's always useful to have things like block or wrestle on your linemen, kick, sure hands. Especially as later on we might find out that we might actually want a ball carrying Hobgoblin. And that's going to be very, very difficult now. So yes, I imagine that change has gone down like a lead balloon within most of the Chaos Dwarf player base. However, I've got to say, it's quite in keeping with the Hobgoblins. They are the sneakiest, nastiest, cruelest, spiteful race in the Warhammer world. They're not as evil, obviously, as Chaos, but they are just nasty little things. They are the worst greenskin. They are the most treacherous by far. They will betray anybody for anything. They are very devious, basically. So it's very much in keeping that they should have devious, and maybe it is in keeping that they only have devious because it's all they know, because it's what they're bred and born to do, is just to be devious. So that's the Hobgoblins. Now, this is the player when Chaos Dwarfs came back, and I saw the meltdowns and the tears about how the team had changed. I largely thought it was over the top, but I did think the Sneaky Stabber was a huge missed opportunity, because I think it was 70k before, and it was just a Hobgoblin with stab and shadowing, and I just thought that you could have done so much more. If you'd have given it like more movement, maybe it could have been your runner as well, bit of utility. If you'd have given it dodge, or just agility access on primary, which meant, okay, his stabbing isn't always that useful, but now at least I can develop him into the ball carrier. But no, they didn't do any of that, and it was just shadowing and stab, and I don't know how many people were taking Sneaky Stabbers. I played Chaos Dwarfs a few times in the Fumble League, and I did come across some Sneaky Stabbers, actually. But I don't know how useful they were. I was running Vampires in one of those seasons, so they probably were quite useful. However, they have done some things that make the Sneaky Stabber more better, basically, and that is they are essentially the same as a Hobgoblin. I think they've got worse passing than an average Hobgoblin, and they cost 20k more, but they get general access as well as devious, and they have shadowing and stab. So having this general access means that you can actually do what I said, and you perhaps use this as your ball carrier, because you can give it short hands, you can give it block, so it can be can have a bit more utility now. I still think agility access would have been good, or maybe an extra pip of movement, but at least the Sneaky Stabber is moving in the right direction now, and I think actually there's a point to taking it now, other than obviously just stabbing. Stabbing is better. No, it's not. No, stabbing isn't better, but you can partner up hit and run with it. Oh wait, hit and run's in the secondary. Okay, so yeah, stab I'm not so sure about for this player. Shadowing is obviously more useful now, but you don't really want this guy shadowing your opponents because he's just going to get his head kicked in. So yeah, still not sold on the sneaky stabber, but he's better than he was. The Chaos Dwarf blocker, the the linchpin of the Chaos Dwarf team. He is exactly as he was in the edition before, in second season edition, even though he's not exactly the same as he is in the PDF and the Team of Legend. Because as we know, they lost tackle and they gained Ironhard skin. And again, there was much furore to be had. There was, rebellions, riots over it. And I really don't think it makes much of a difference. Apart from, I suppose you can argue that it overpowers Amazons even more. Yeah, maybe. But for this team, if it's only looking at its own interests and not going hunting for dodge teams, having tackle across your blockers is a great freebie. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't say don't have it, but you're better off having tackle on your more mobile pieces anyway. And I think Ironhard skin was proper underrated when it came back in with Chaos Dwarves. Like I said, I played Chaos Dwarves a couple of times and I never removed any Chaos Dwarves because you are having to roll 10 plus no matter what, and you are going to do it every now and then. But the few times you do break the armor, that'll be when you've just rolled 10 plus. To roll another 10 plus is really, really tricky. And they've got thick skull as well, so getting them off the field is really, really hard, and that benefits them a lot. Going down to 4, I don't think, again, it's not a big issue for me because I do think the Flamesmiths are okay. I don't feel the Flamesmiths were as disappointing as the Sneaky Stabbers by any stretch. So there's no real change. They've got Devious on secondary though. Talking about the Flamesmiths, they are the same again, just like the blockers, except they've got Devious on secondary. I wonder if Breathe Fire is a special action. Does that count as a special action? Because there's that Devious skill where you can get more SPP if you do any special action. But that'd probably be too expensive for this guy to take. He's fine. He's got genuine strength as well. He's a little bit more mobile. He doesn't have block or Ironhard skin, but he can get block pretty easily if you really want to. He's got Brawler anyway. But the Breathe Fire option, again, is another underrated skill. I had it used against me a couple of times, and it's very annoying. I know it doesn't seem to happen very often, but every now and then it's going to completely ruin your opponent's play, and it's just it's especially when you're playing higher strength teams, strength 4 players. It's really useful because it doesn't care about strength 4 as long as it's not strength 5. It doesn't care about guard or defensive. It's just a straight up roll, and sometimes that is going to be better. I know loads of Chaos Dwarf plans will go into the comments saying 6 blockers was better. Fine, but I've liked the Flamesmiths. It varies the team a little bit more, and I've had it used against me, and it's very annoying. Okay, so not much change there. And then the Bull Centaur Blitzer. Again, no need to change too much about this guy. They're giving him Devious on secondary, and of course, very upsetting again for the Chaos Dwarf players is the Unsteady on the Bull Centaur, because I played Chaos Dwarves a lot in Blood Bowl 2. I've never had a set of models I really liked. I had the old 3rd edition models, but I didn't use them very often because I wasn't a big fan. And then I bought the Realm of Paths Chaos Dwarf team, which I did like, but I haven't used them that much on the tabletop. But I used them a lot in Blood Bowl 2, and I do get it about some of these changes. I do understand where they're coming from, but and you want to carry with the Bull Centaur. I know you do because I used to. But it was always a pain carrying with the Bull Centaur in terms of getting the ball to him. They've not got any worse in that regard. Some people are looking at this as if to say, oh, they've nerfed our player because he can't secure the ball. Well, he never could secure the ball. He was always picking up on a 4+. So it's not really a nerf. It's only because other teams have got players that can do it. But you've got players who can do it. It's just not your strength 4 guy. I'm off the top of my head, is it only Amazons and Blackhawks who've got a strength 4 player who can pick up? The Saurus can't, the Flesh Golems can't, Mummies and Tomb Guardians are big guys, Ulf Warriors can't, Big Guns can't. So there's not many strength 4 players who can. You couldn't, and the reason it's on the Amazon blocker can is look at them. You can't get away with saying they're unsteady because they've got dodge. You can't have dodge and unsteady, surely. And the reason the Blackhawks have got it is because they need it. They need it because they're not a very powerful team as it is. So being able to carry the ball a bit is going to help them. So I don't think this is unfair at all. They're still great players, Bull Centaur Blitzers. I don't think they could get mutations back in the 2016 edition and the PDF before. It might have come along when they were updated just before just at the end of season 2, but they're still great players, and there's not much change from what was there before. Minotaur, again, a little bit of change. I noticed, I'm pretty sure they've got mutations on primary now, which they didn't have, which is a little buff because it gives them access to things like claws then. Maybe even 2 heads. Now you've got break tackle. Just imagine 2 heads and break tackle on a big guy. Because that would be strength 5. So that's +3. Which would be 3, 2. That'd be 1 plus dodging. 2 heads would be 0 plus dodging. So into a cage would be 1, 2, 3 plus dodge. Into a cage with a Minotaur who's got 2 heads and break tackle. It's worth thinking about, isn't it? Anyway, it's a shame you can't put the horn strength on top of that if it was, because you're not, obviously it's, mind you, if you announce the blitz, no, it doesn't work, does it? But yeah, so there's some options now, obviously with mutations as well, so that's good, and obviously it can pass now. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. I think in the PDF version of the Chaos Dwarf list, they had, they were called, what were they called? Enslaved Minotaurs, and they had Animal Savagery instead of Unchanneled Fury, which I know a lot of people would prefer to Unchanneled Fury. I myself am fine with Unchanneled Fury. People don't like running the Minotaur in the Chaos Dwarf teams as well, so I wonder whether the meta shift generally for this 3rd edition will see the Minotaur used more. I would always use him because, as I've said in many videos, Minotaurs are one of my favourite players in the game, and even when I know it's not good to run them, I still run them. My Renegade team will always have a Minotaur. Even if every expert in the world tells me it's the worst of the big guys, I will still run the Minotaur because I'm just pig-headed about some things. But I accept that a lot of Chaos Dwarf teams weren't running them. They'd prefer the 2 Bull Centaurs. See, I'd just be running 2 Bull Centaurs and a Minotaur and having a horrendous TV difference to my opponents, but that's just me. So there's 70k rerolls. They can have an Apo. They can have Badlands Brawl or Chaos Clash, and then they have Favoured of Hashut. I don't think we've got many star players who are Favoured of Hashut, except maybe Rashnak, because I'm pretty sure Mino guy, Grashnak Blavkoof, I'm pretty sure he is Chaos Clash, isn't he? So Favoured of Hashut, he's probably just the Chaos Dwarf Bazooka guy, Zarg, and Rashnak. So it's not a lot of star player to choose from. But obviously you've also got Badlands Brawl, where you can pick up some of the Orc guys as well. So, pros and cons. Devious Fouling Hobgoblins is good, but then no primary generals on Hobgoblins is not so good. Secure the Ball allows 2+ pickup for Hobgoblins and Chaos Dwarfs if they want to. But Bull Centaurs are unsteady, so the players you really want to pick up, you can't. They can't on a 2+. Minotaur gains mutations on primary, which is okay. And the Sneaky Stabber is a bit cheaper, and obviously has access to general. So really, on the whole, we knew this would probably happen. The Chaos Dwarfs haven't changed much from their end of Season 2 reimagining. They are still pretty much where they were, I think. Some people might read more into this and think that the primary generals kills them off as a team. I don't think it does. You don't tend to level up your Hobgoblins too much anyway. You would maybe have a ball carrier, so you're going to have to rethink that, but you could perhaps use your Sneaky Stabber now as a ball carrier. I don't know. I don't think there's a huge power loss for the Chaos Dwarfs, so I just put them bang in the middle, because they are pretty much the same as they were. Now, that's not me saying they're in the middle in terms of their power level, because a lot of people would have had them quite low in the end of the last edition. I'm not one of them. I do think they dropped a bit because they were very good prior to their changes, but I still thought they were okay, and I've played them against them a few times now, and they're pretty decent. I imagine they might now be the next Blood Bowl 3 team as well, because I've seen people saying that Cyanide have said they won't do a double pack again. So I think if it's a straight up choice between Ogres, Snotlings, and Chaos Dwarfs, or Gnomes, I think they'll probably go Chaos Dwarfs, because they are going to be more powerful than the 320 teams, I think. Some people would probably argue Snotlings are more powerful than Chaos Dwarfs, but not me. I still think if I had a choice between the two, I'd take the Chaos Dwarfs. But there we go. That's our winners and losers board, with only one more team to go on, and that'll be Vampires. So keep your eyes out for the next and last roster video. After that, we'll do a bit of a recap of everything. I've decided I will do a Bretonian one. It won't be a winners or losers type thing. It'll just be, let's have a quick look at the players and see what we think. And yeah, stay subscribed to join me for more videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much. Bye for now.